Good day, hardcore gamers, and welcome to a new series on Warhammer Return to Reckoning, which is essentially a private server of Warhammer Age of Reckoning. Here we are, we're going to be making a new character. This is one of my favourite all-time games. I've returned to this many times. I love it. My antivirus does not love it, so every time when I stop playing this, it's because my antivirus has killed the game. So hopefully I can get quite far in this before my antivirus plays up again and removes the game from my computer without asking me. So what is this game? So it's essentially it's an MMO. It's predominantly PvP focused. So you got order on the left against destruction on the right. It's good versus evil essentially. And each good and evil have 3 different races. Good, you have dwarves, empire, and high elves, and then on evil you got dark elves, chaos, and greenskins. They all have their own pros and cons. Each of them have their own type of healer, DPS, range DPS, and a tank. Each of them have their own pros and cons. But I don't know really the layout of what everything what faction's better end game. So normally I think back in the day destruction used to be better, but I don't know about order and I don't know how it works out at the moment. So we'll look through all the characters. So dwarves, for your healer, you've got the rune priest. Looks a bit worse for wear. Really good healer. Quick kind of sudden burst heals and a load of dots. Hots heals over time rather than dots. Slayer. So they've all got their unique mechanic as well. Order and destruction have their own essentially unique mechanics. Stack on one person order, one person destruction. So for the rune priest, his special mechanic being rune crafting is the destruction special mechanic on the zealot. But we'll go through this. Slayer has an enrage special mechanic, so his melee DPS. More he's in a fight, more damage he does, higher crits. Really good kind of class if you like to be up close and personal. But higher your in range, more damage you will take. Your range DPS for dwarves is the engineer, who has mechanical gadgets. You put down turrets. If you're within a certain range of the turret, you will essentially do more damage with that turret. And then iron breakers, you have grudges. So you set someone as a grudge bearer, so really good in duos and small groups. And essentially any buff you apply to yourself, you apply to your grudge brother as well. So those are the dwarves. Empire, you have first is your melee DPS, which is Witch Hunter, which is all about infiltration and accusation, who is essentially a rogue from WoW. So you go stealth, you backstab, you kill. Really good class. Bright Wizard, you have Combustion, so essentially a ranged DPS which uses magic. Combustion is when you're building up your magic, you build up your magic stacks. When your stacks get so high, you would just do a load of damage, but you have a chance of combusting and damaging yourself. Warrior Priest is kind of like a half, is a melee healer essentially, close combat healer. He's Righteous Fury, so while you're doing certain attacks, you'll build up Fury. And then Knight of the Blazing Sun, which is a tank, has special mechanic as commands, so you can have 3 sets of auras on at once. The auras just do like extra defense, extra toughness, extra attack damage. Relatively good class. High elves you have at the back here, hiding away like they are. So you've got Archmage, essentially a healer / DPS. The more heals you do, increases your DPS spells, so you can channel it to 5, so you do 5 heals. Your DPS skills do like, I think it's 100% extra damage and it's instant cast, quite a good class. Shadow Warrior, you've got strategic maneuvers. Shadow Warrior is a ranged DPS. Strategic maneuvers is essentially your stances, so you've got like range stance, assault stance, with 3 stances, skirmish stance. The stances essentially allow you to do different skills and different play styles each stance. So there is a melee version of this, which is quite cool. White Lion, you have a tamed lion. The lion fights by your side. Really cool looking class. If we go to male, White Lion is probably the coolest looking class at end game. You've got that lion mane on you. So that your pet lion can just run in and do a load of damage. You don't really need to do anything. Cool class. Not very survivable, but cool class. That's your melee. And then your tank for the high elves is Sword Master. So essentially your special mechanic is called the Blade Dance. So you can essentially have combos. So you have 3 parts of Blade Dance. You've got the initiator, the middle. So I think of it like a sandwich. You've got one bit of bread, your filling, and another bit of bread, which is your finisher. And you just go through your combos, and each combo you can use a different skill each combo. Really good class. Probably one of the better DPS tanks. You can actually, in theory, tank with the Tyrannosaurus sword, which is really cool. I do like Swordmaster a lot. Dark Elves. So here you have the Witch Elf, who is essentially the Destruction's rogue. So while you're fighting, you build up a thing of Bloodlust, which is the special mechanic. When that builds up to a certain amount, you can unleash all the Bloodlust at once and just do high amounts of damage. Sorceress is the same as the Bright Wizard. You build up your magic, your dark magic. Dark magic, more dark magic, more damage, more chance of hurting yourself. Hatred, this tank here, the Blackguard, is very much like the mechanics of the Ironbreaker. How the Ironbreaker is more defensive, the Blackguard has more offensive buffs. Also does have a really good buff, which when I used to play Blackguard, because they're the only class that can use like polearms or halberds, which I love a polearm or halberd. So I played Blackguard a lot. They have a skill which absorbs damage and also heals you. Really good skill, really survivable for a tank. You can definitely solo with a Blackguard. Cyborg Kane links with the human warrior priest, the Empire warrior priest. So a frontline healer, DPS healer. More you attack, more soul reaping points you get. And it's moving on to Chaos. So here you've got the Chosen, who has curses, which are like the Blazing Sun for the Empire. You can have 3 of these on at once. And they give different buffs and can debuff enemies. The Magus at the back here is the ranged DPS. You can summon demons, the equivalent to the Engineer. The demons, closer you are to them, more damage you do. Marauder, really cool class, equivalent of the White Lion. His mutations, rather than having a pet which can change stances, you've got mutations which are, instead of having a pet, you change your left arm. So if I click off and click back on, there you go. So you can change it. This is one of his changes. You've got like sword, you've got a club, and you've got another one. Really good class. Really survivable for a melee DPS as well, actually. You've got Zealot, which is a healer, does equivalent to the Runekeeper, quick heals. And last but not least, you've got the Greenskins, the Gobbos and Yorkie boys. Here you've got the Shaman, equivalent to the Archmage, uses Wah. Oh, should I say Wah? Whatever you want to say it. So you build up damage and heals. More damage buffs you get, more damage Wah. I think it's Gork. Or Mork. It's to different gods. Damage is either Gork or Mork. When you build up those points, your heals of the other gods get better. And vice versa. Good class. Actually, really good for solo. Squig Herder, equivalent to the Shadow Warrior. You have a pet Squig. Really good pet, actually. And you just sit there as the ranged DPS, just plinking. Plinking is your main attack skill, which you should get at level 1. You just plink, and everything just gets deleted. Chopper. Don't mess with the chop. This is equivalent to the Slayer. He has his Berserk mechanic. As the Berserk builds up over time, you just get stronger. And then finally, Black Orc. His equivalent is the Swordmaster. Really good class. You just go through the combos. However, I'm currently torn between a Marauder or a Swordmaster. I'm probably going to go for a Swordmaster. I go for Swordmaster. I like being tanks in games. And Swordmaster is probably what suits me the best. I know that my normal character of Rothman's already taken. because already have a Rothmer, but he's on a different account which I can't gain back for some reason. Just gonna quickly glitz him out. You've got to have. Oh, they've added new hairstyle. That's a bit janky. So obviously, this being a private server, it's not perfect. These are one pretty cool thing that they've added. Well, not added, but all of these colours are colours from Warhammer itself, which I love. Because if you wanna paint your character like this, like you'll see all the paints that you can get dyes. All the dyes in game are all named after paints as well. Let's go for smoky colour, metal colour. Let's go for turquoise. Let's go for elven gold. There we go. I'm going to call myself Slothmer, and I am done. So as you see here, I've got a load of characters. Two different archmages for some reason. Level 40 Slayer called Slaymer. I've got a level 40 Engineer. Got a level 40 Rune Priest. I did have a 40 Swordmaster, but deleted it by accident, and they never replied to my ticket. And then on this side, I did have a level like 35 Blackguard, but I don't know what happened to him. And then this is probably my favourite class, but I've made players in Warder one day because he looked cool, and you can solo a lot of content with him. But I'm going to jump straight into Slothmer. So I'm hoping that I can hopefully pump out a load of content before my actual my install gets corrupted by my antivirus. If you have McAfee antivirus on your computer, I don't recommend this. Wherever Return to Reckoning, it's a great game. You'd love it.
When the race of men sent desperate word of war, the High Elves responded, and as Uthuan lay undefended, the Dark Elves attacked. It falls to you to stop them. You must drive back their tide of cruelty and destruction. War is everywhere, and this is your time of reckoning.
So, let's see if I can instantly change my user interface to another profile.
This tutorial window and others
Slothmer.
like it will assist you in playing
No, I can't change it.
Warhammer Online Age of Reckoning.
Normally I'll change to one of my pre-made. So, help bar, you can move there. This actually looks okay actually. Target there. Target there. Tend to like being able to see my everything down in one spot. Secondary target just there. That's it. Save changes. I should have done this first. Apply. Oh, that's actually okay. Pick you. Oh, that's locked, so I can't move things. And this, I should just be able to remove that. Yeah, State of the Realm is interesting. Relatively new add-on. So you never used to. The game actually comes with this automatically now. Has essentially tells you what's going on in the world. So I can look here. So these are all the tiers. So this is the state of both the cities. Altdorf is the Empire. Order City. Inevitable City is the destruction. And here is. So tier 1, so this game has different tiers. So if I'll go through I'll explain this. I'll probably explain it a few other times while I'm playing the game. So this game's split into 4 tiers. Originally I had tier 1, 2, 3, 4. Each tier was split by 10 levels. Tier 1, 1 to 10, or 1 to 11. Tier 2, 11 to 21. Tier 3, 21 to 31. Tier 4 is 31 to 40. But now, this is now all changed just because of the population of the game. Tier 1 is just Tier 1, 1 to 11. And then Tier 2 to 4 is all lumped together. So, if you're, let's say they're pushing, this map can't be pushed. So, let's say they're pushing this map here. So, currently the fight's in Dragon Wake. Or, so you can see where the fight is because they're contested. This is owned by Order, this is owned by Destruction. So the tier 1 slightly influences the battle on tier 2. Doesn't mean you're going to lose tier 2 if you don't own tier 1. But it just gives you a slight bonus. Can't remember what the bonus is off the top of my head, but give you a slight bonus into the next map. So what you should do when you're pushing tier 4, so let's say here, Thunder Mountain's now contested. At the moment these are locked. Not sure why they're locked, but Thunder Mountain is currently contested. As tier 4 is now 1, 2, 3 and 4, you should in theory take tier 2, tier 3, then try and push tier 4. But you don't have to. You can play it however, if you have a warband up, you can play it however you want. And this is for the campaign for the fortresses, which is fortresses. As you're pushing the enemy capital city, you've got the fortresses here. So for the Dark Elves and High Elves, High Elf is Shining Way, Dark Elf is Fell Landing. For Greenskins, it's Butcher's Pass and Stonewatch. Wow, okay. I did not know this. They added... The dwarfs now have they've added different capital cities. So the main city is for the Order is Altdorf. However, you also have... So Altdorf is the main city. And then you can go to Karak, which is essentially the Dwarven capital city now. Did not know they added that. Does the High Elves have the same? They do not. But the Greenskins, they have their capital city here as well. That's really cool. Did not know they added that. So let's change. One thing I do want to change is my key bindings. Auto run would always be on. Auto run on R. So, yeah, happy.
Will you grant me
So this game
Offered a quest,
is very much
which is
PvP
an
centric.
excellent way to gain experience
So there's different
and
ways of doing
rewards.
PvP. You've got open world PvP, which is, I'll go back to this. So these that are contested, you go to these maps, and this area which is kind of coloured out in an orange hue, this is a PvP area. So that's where the open world PvP will take place. When you get to tier 4, the majority of the map is PvP based. You can do PvE all the way. You just follow chapter 1, then you go to chapter 2, then chapter 3 will be to the south here. Chapter 4, chapter 3 is there. You just follow your story by doing all these public events. Or you can just do PvP. So that's one type of PvP, open world, which is a more predominant way of doing PvP. Or you can do scenarios, which I will join. So you've got a load of scenarios, which are a load of maps. And then if you just click join all, you will then join the queue to do skirmishes. Normally they don't take too long to get into a skirmish, but it is... What day is it? So I'm recording this on a Wednesday morning. So I'm not too sure how many people are actually going to be playing this. If you do have an interest in playing this game, I will put the Return to Reckoning site in my description. So if you're interested, you can check it out. It has a full description of how to actually install the game as well, and what they recommend. But on the front page of the Return to Reckoning, you actually have the ability to see... Yeah, that skirmish has popped already. On the front page of Return to Reckoning, you have the ability to see how many people are actually online. And then that has a breakdown of what tiers they're in. So let's go to Old Dwarf Road. So this is a new scenario, which I've not... No, I've done this once, actually. It looks like there's capture points, 3 capture points around the map. You just obviously capture the points and hold them. So you don't normally join the scenario unless you've got at least things like 5 people. During the day, this is really quiet. In the evenings, this will pick up. And I can't even mount my horse yet, can I? No, to be level 2. But I will put my horse there. So here I'm with a Slayer, a level 11 Slayer and a level 11 Runekeeper. So as long as we stick to them, I should be okay. Let's see if they're saying that. They're not saying anything. And then we're against a Chosen, 2 Chosen, 1 Marauder and 1 Shaman. Okay, the map has already started. So I use my sprint. When you sprint, you do lose all your action points, which is this yellow bar here when it appears. That's the only downside of sprinting. Obviously, I haven't got my horse yet. You get at level 2. Yeah. So yeah, so you capture points here. It says it's quite explanatory. First to 500 wins. You've got 15 minutes to do the whole fighting. And then these are the 3 points you have to capture. So I'm going to try and keep close to my 2 teammates here. I'm expecting this to be relatively quiet during the day. So I probably won't be able to do that many skirmishes. So I can level up a little bit. What PvP is a very good way of getting gear. So we've now got a Archmage join our team. So you have got a set of different teams. So these are the parties you can join. So I can get my party and show all the parties that join. So he is chasing the Marauder, which is probably not the best idea. But I'm just hitting this because I've got no one else to hit. There you go, Marauder's there. Right, Shaman is definitely the one I want to try and remove. Shaman is their healer, take out their healer. They are focusing on our healer. But our Archmage is now here, so we can take this guy out. You see I'm constantly out of action points. There you
As a reward for your
Go away.
actions, a new item has
Right.
just been placed into your backpack.
Okay, that level up may have just frozen my game. There we go. Back to normal. Right, so this guy has a guard on the Marauder. So normally I wouldn't pound on tanks, but as he's got a guard on this Marauder, or had a guard on this Marauder, there's no point hitting the Marauder because the guard, the Chosen would have taken half the damage. There you go, I've now leveled up, so I've now got my second skill. So you can see here, first skill, second skill is then this one, which is a snare. And you can see this little blade dance change in the middle. And then I can move that to there. I do want to get rid of these alerts where next time I can. So it's really annoying saying no action points, no action points. You probably see it quite a lot because I do spam my one ability. Because this guy is going to be our highest damage dealer. I'm just keeping with him. Looks like we're going straight towards capturing their point here.
My welcome.
Can change to the amount of damage everyone's done. So I've done the most amount of damage on my team. Because I'm now level 2. And I've done death blows. So when we finish this, I'll explain something else as well. I'll explain now because it's quite quiet. So when you finish, every match you finish, you get tokens. I think they're called emblems. You see, emblems or medallions. They're interchangeable. One's from World v World, one's from scenarios. If you win, if you play a scenario, you get automatically you get a set amount. If you win a scenario, that set amount goes up again. Yeah, so if you play a scenario, you always get a set amount of emblems or medallions. I think it is medallions, but we'll see soon. If you win, you get some more. That'll bump up your base amount to a couple more. I think it's 5 or something like that. And then if you get any of the MVPs, so at the moment I'll get MVP for damage. So I've got the highest amount of damage on my team, and MVP for damage, death blows. So I'll be getting two of the MVPs. You get MVPs for doing healing, MVPs for doing protection, and objectives. So each of these, death blows, damage, healing, protection, objectives, should give you an MVP. Aim for this level, these guys level 2. There is this guy, the Shaman is always first. Alright, Shaman's down, now hit there we go. So, match is over. So if you look down here in chat, so I got 6 war crests for winning, 1 for playing the game. Wait, no, yeah, 6 war crests for winning. And then death blows. I've got 1 for death blows because I'm mostly on death blows, and 1 for doing damage. So that's 2 altogether. So I've got 8 war crests for that one fight. War crests, when we get to the next war camp, I'll explain what war crests are. Because they're a really good way, if you just do a load of PvP, just do a load of skirmishes or open world, you can essentially buy all the gear you ever need with war crests. The best gear in the game require you to essentially spam PvP. But obviously it's a PvP game, so it makes sense that your best rewards are from PvP.
I have fine wares for sale. You are well
Handing in his quests. I probably won't do another scenario for the time being. What did I get from that? So I got 2 bits of loot, both of them not for my class, which is fine. Buy my next backpack slot. Buy my next 2 backpack slots. I think the next one is 1 gold. Yeah, it's 1 gold, fine. And keep taking out some of these spirits. So I can use this to change to my next balance. But I now have the 3 balance skills I want. Three balance skills themselves. So I've got normal balance, improved balance, and perfect balance. This skill down here, which does spirit damage. So it does spirit damage to them. Every time they get critical hitted, they take more spirit damage. I don't know what that does.
When the race of men sent desperate word of war, the high elves responded.
Oh, okay, so that does your intro conversation. Just click on that. If you look on currencies, so you've got different tabs. The reason I'm essentially going to do the story quest up until this first war camp, so it means chapter 1 and chapter 2. Because when I get to the first war camp, I'll be able to use those crests. Get rid of this first. So here, if you scroll over this, proof of valor on the field of battle. They may be used to trade for equipment for various quartermasters. So the quartermasters are inside war camps or inside the capital city. So now I need to take out some infiltrators. There's 1 there. Should be 4 in there somewhere. I could keep killing these mobs, but there's no point. You've got 2 types of XP as well in this. So you've got actual experience, which is up here, which, like most MMOs, you can get rested. So if you're inside a capital city or near in a camp or war camp, you get rested experience, which obviously gives you double XP. Then you also have renown up here. So renown, I think the max renown is like 160, something like that. I think they bumped it up. But so renown bait is essentially only gained from doing PvP. So you kill an enemy player or you assist in killing an enemy player, you'll get renown. Renown is directly linked to your experience level. So up until level 40, which is maximum level, you can only ever be double your level in renown. So if you're level 2, your maximum renown would be level...
I should bless your way.
If you're level 2, your max morale will be level 4. So I'm level 6, they're level 3, so my max morale will be level 6. It's always quite good to have a relatively high morale, because you can buy buffs with your morale points, which do obviously make you slightly stronger. Which I will show when once I get to a war camp. You also will, up here, just where it says High Elf, Chapter 1, you can gain influence, which I will explain when I finally get to actually use some influence. You've got siege weapons in this game as well. Some can be quite buggy. Well, the PvE siege weapons are really buggy. The ones in PvP, because PvP is the main design of the game, are less buggy and they work as intended normally. But you tend to use siege weapons a lot when you're attacking keeps. Just take out these harpies. There we go. Press escape and release.
I have need of your services.
That should level me up. Yep, so it's now level 4. So I've got a new attack. So a guided strike that deals 58 damage and improves your chance to parry by 25% for 5 seconds. So Intent would be to always snare them, always have them snared. As it's a 10-second wait, I can pump this Eagle's Flight, and then back to snare, Eagle's Flight, back to snare, Eagle's Flight. The parrying's quite good in this game, so it just mitigates all damage. Block, I think you can hit through block or damage through block, whereas if they parry, that's 0 damage.
You are here. Blessings upon you.
So this teaches you how you talismans. Talismans you just put in your armor
Safe travel.
for the city for a free buff. He wants me to put it into one of my pieces of armor. I do have a piece I can put it in. I think you have to press shift right click. Yeah, I'm just going to put it in my boots. Yeah, I can do slightly extra strength now. So now I'm essentially just finishing these quests.
Will you grant me aid?
This guy teaches you about public quests, and from public quests you learn about war tokens. War tokens
Blessings upon
are like the... I have to speak to this guy. So war tokens are like these war crests, but they only get from PvE by doing public events.
I am glad you are here.
I'm going to hand these 2 quests
I
in.
shall bless your way.
Take out some harpies.
Now do your
You
duty.
should have 2 quests. Yeah.
Skill and stillness.
Right, so we'll call it there for this first episode. So, if you like Warhammer, if you like MMOs, this is the place to be, because I will be playing this a lot. And I do enjoy this game, so even if my file does get corrupt, well, my download gets corrupted by McAfee, which it probably will when I hit the next update, I will try and reinstall to keep this going. But if you like this, please give me a like. If you enjoy my type of content, give me a subscribe, that'd be amazing. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and peace out.